What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction. Back with the single mix of Whispering Your Name by Alison Moyet, a cover, as I learned when I reacted to the album version. And indeed, part of my engagement with the lyrics is I didn't quite get a sense that this was a song originally written by a man. And again, as I wrote in a reply to someone's comment, like, of course relationships can be woman-woman, but I wasn't thinking of it in that context, so I wasn't able to, get a read on the type of emotion in the lyrics, which again, coming from Alison's female voice, hit differently than no doubt the original did. But a number of folks said that Alison's version was the only one that made it into the charts, and that this single mix was actually preferred by a lot of people. Now, I remember Nicola saying that he actually liked the album version. Maybe, if it wasn't Nicola, I apologize. I think that's right. But yeah, someone said that the album version makes the emotions of the song hit a bit more powerfully, whereas the single mix, I think Mark described it as like Alison versus or with Pet Shop Boys, something to that effect. So I imagine there will be some dance sonics. And in fact, I think Darren and maybe one or two other people refer to it as the club mix. But yes, officially it's listed as the single mix. So in that regard, I'm expecting it to be a bit more groovy, to have a, four to the floor dance type of beat, and perhaps to have a bit more of a 90s electronica sound rather than a more, I don't think it was acoustic, but it definitely had a more natural instrument and, what's the right word? Art rock feel, for lack of a better phrase. I don't think that's quite right, but yeah, that was my impression of the tune, so let's give it a listen. This is Alison Moyet and the single mix of Whispering Your Name, a tune that in the other form was on her 1994 album Essex. Already different, yeah. That's great. I really do like that a lot. It's definitely quite different. I mean, from the first bar, you get a sense like, oh, this is a more electronic and dance floor version. I do think it works though, and it does give a different vibe. It's, less being heavy in your feelings and more like, I'm going to keep busy and I'm going to keep thinking positively and keep moving as a way to distract from the danger I see. And like the line that like, I'm just hoping it's like force of habit. I feel like that line encapsulates the way this version hits a bit differently. It's like, she's just trying to convince herself that like, no, she's not hung up on the other person. She's here. It's just, she spent a long time like that. So it's like almost trying to, convince yourself of something you don't quite believe. But yes, again, very different, and I definitely hear, a PSB style sound, very like 90s electronica. I mean, it is like essentially vocal trance, but also, like electronic heavy synth pop, I think is an equally fitting label. Again, Allison's voice, incredible. Those long extensions, which like have an extension and then a little like off ramp, and then it like keeps going more. I also enjoy the way she drops down really low, and just the deep resonance of her voice. I think is not only stunning, but I think it fits the dance floor sonics of this one, or this version, quite well. So yeah, I don't know in the moment if I have a preferred version. It's again like the two different paintings things. Sometime I might look at this painting and appreciate it more. Other times I might be in a mood where I look at the other version of this painting and appreciate it more. So on a first listen, that's kind of where my brain is, different strokes for different moments. And secondarily, I did want to mention not only thank you to Seb for providing all these bonus tracks, and indeed, there's a bunch of different mixes now that we'll go through. I think the next one is like a dub mix, so I'm curious about that. But yeah, like, I think there maybe even is a demo, but there may be some other single mixes. But yes, bonus tunes in this expanded folder for Essex. Thank you again to Seb. But I've been going through documentaries. I've been watching documentaries, like short ones about songs, longer ones about an album, even longer ones about an artist's, career, or at least like a phase of their career. And generally speaking, I've been shooting them Thursday night / early Friday morning and posting them Friday. I don't know if I'm going to do this Friday, but sometime in the next week or two, I'll be doing a watch along for, and indeed, shout out to Michaela, who's been providing a lot of these documentaries for me. She provided a documentary that's about Yazoo. So, I imagine on some level it'll focus equally on Vince and Allison and, their time together. And given what people have said, I'm expecting it to speak to the rocky personal relationship that eventually broke down, but also the way they were sort of like a stroke of lightning and, sort of really like made an impact in the short like 2-album duration they had. And again, I think they were already broken up by the time the second album came out, right? But yes, ultimately, I will be doing a watch along for that documentary, and I'm very much looking forward to that, which I get it. That's like not specifically Allison's solo, but obviously she's a big part, or, half of what made them so unique and special. So I'm looking forward to that, and it'll be over on my Patreon. Like with most things over there, it'll be embargoed for the first 10 days for full users, and shout out to all those of you who fit that category, but over time it will become publicly available as well. In any case, let me know what you think of this single version of the song. Thank you again to Seb, and Luca and I will see you next time. Peace.